forgotten what leadership looks like. America in 2008 became paralyzed by political correctness, but America also believed that a teleprompted speech giver was a good leader. That's what we thought. And it's our fault because we have stopped raising leaders from within. You know, there's a little ruling class elite in the United States of America that has taken over our country. And we got to take it back from them. That's
Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
home of the artillery.
There you go.
Redlands.
Question for you. If you had the opportunity to sit down with President Obama right now, what would you say to him and be very kind?
You know, I would ask him one simple question. What passport did you use to go to Pakistan? That tells me everything about it.
Colonel West,
Yes, ma'am.
we're very proud of our leadership in Africa. And many of us agree and are terribly concerned about proliferation of democracy. Is there in any way that we could develop any kind of a campaign to work on this? Is there any avenue? Is it a local issue? Do we do it locally?
I think that you know you have to start at the local level first and foremost. And I think the people over here, y'all have been hogging the mic, and the people over there. I think the first thing you do have to start at the local level because you have some of these city commissions, you know, as in Pompano, as in Boca Raton. So I mean, you got to make an effect there. And once again, it comes back to developing leadership at the local level first and foremost, and then you have to affect it at the county level. And then you also can affect it at the state level. But that's the place where you can press the belly button the easiest, is to get in there every time they have these city council meetings and tell them, we don't want this. Okay? Because this is something that is threatening to our society and our security. Just do the math. Do the math. There were 25 Muslims that attend the Islamic Center in Pompano Beach. I don't care, about, them attending whatever, but they're building a mosque funded by the Saudis that is now 25,000 square feet. 29. So explain the math to me. Is this a growth industry? And if it is a growth industry, where are they coming from? Okay, that's my concern. And the fact that it was placed in black neighborhood, that really kind of hurts my heart. Okay? And I take this back to this. Never forget, the 4 gentlemen who were Muslim converts up in New York thought they had plastic explosives. They want to blow up some synagogues. The one young man, Carlos Bledsoe, born and raised in Memphis, Somali passport, gets to Yemen, terrorist training, shoots 2 U.S. soldiers at a Little Rock recruiting station. We got a problem in this country. And we got to start fixing that problem at the local level. And I get up to Washington, D.C., I'll take care of it.
Colonel West, what do you feel about term limits?
You know something, let me explain the Constitution first, and then I'll come back to that. Every 2 years you can term limit again. You know? So the interesting thing that people, a lot of people say, Constitution, but people really don't read it, and people don't understand it. What do you think is the most powerful branch of government in the United States of America?
Judiciary.
Wrong. The judiciary was meant to be the least. That's why they have lifetime appointments. Of course, now we have activist judges, but the founding fathers meant for the judiciary to be the least powerful. What do you think is the most powerful branch? The House of Representatives. Why is the House of Representatives the most powerful? Would you let me talk? I'm married, I got 2 daughters, and then I come out and I still get, ordering around. She is right. But if you go back and you study the Constitution and the power that the House of Representatives has, with the purse string, with all the laws that emanate from there, and have to come back through there, that's why why they only got 2 years. Every 2 years, you can make a difference in the most powerful branch of the government. But it comes back to what did I just say in 2008? 21% approval rating, 93% reelection rate. What are you going to do in November? Okay? So I do believe in term limits. But I also believe in the American people understanding the Constitution and how it was set up and stop being like Plato said, not being engaged in politics so you become governed by your inferiors. Now, what do I believe in? If we can't get the American people, which, 45 to 50% aren't paying taxes, but yet they vote, so it's very easy to co-opt them. If we can't get the American people to understand that, I think the max that any legislator can get in Washington, D.C. is 12 years. And let me tell you how I bring that out. In the House of Representatives, I would max you out at 8 years. 4 terms and 2 years. That's what you get. In the Senate, you get 2 terms of 6 years. That's 12 years. Now, why I say 12 years total, because if you're in the House of Representatives and you decide you want to go over and run over in the Senate, that's fine. But you've already got X amount of years counted against you, so if you go over to the Senate, then you're only probably going to get 1 term of 6 years, 12 years, and that's it. No pensions, no life. I kind of get upset about this. John Edwards, Mel Martinez, 6 years of Senate, 100% retirement for the rest of their lives. 22 years in the United States Army, only got 55% of my pay. Something ain't right with that math. Okay? So yes, I do believe in term limits, but I also want the American people to study, understand the Constitution, and become participants, because the founding fathers were brilliant men. 2 years for the House, most powerful, 4 years for the executive, 6 years for the Senate, lifetime for the judiciary. Where is the microphone?
Let's have just 2 more questions because we have to pack up and you have to get here. Thank you.
I will always be here. Unlike Ron Klein, who ran away.
Sounds like a street.
Absolutely. That was a paid political announcement.
Jerry Manfred
Yeah.
considered one of the ways that gerrymandering is considered one of the ways that Congress maintains its position. What is your position?
Well, one of the things is, the U.S. Census is the basis by which that is done, every 10 years. And of course, right now, the census, as I said, being moved out of the Commerce Department to the House of Representatives. There's going to be some squirrely things that happen with that for the 2012 election. So, that's one of the things where we have to go back and really look at the Constitution because, of the every 10-year cycle where that's supposed to happen. But, okay, good.
Part of the ballot this year is going to be a law, an amendment against gerrymandering in the worst sense.
Well, no, I haven't seen that amendment, but I will tell you this, and I'll give you a great example of how squirrely it can really be. How many people have ever seen Congressional District 23? The district held by Alcee Hastings. It is the most nutty district. It looks like, little bubbles all over the place because it is drawn to accommodate a population of Black Americans. So where there's enough concentration, there's a line that comes into 22, it takes some here. It goes into 19, it takes some there. So, I think we do need to get away from this. And maybe there's some type of foundational basis we can look at where we just say, this is what the congressional district should look like. So hopefully we can get to that. Last question.
Colonel,
Ma'am.
what do you think about the government funding ACORN?
They should. They absolutely should. And as Joyce just said, or reminded about, is, at the Ron Klein thing today, you had the ACORN and the SEIU people that were there. And if you talk to a lot of these people being paid to come out and stand on these street corners, and they're being paid with stimulus money. And folks remember that this whole thing when they voted to defund ACORN, that was only a temporary measure. I think it was only for like 2 months. They're still getting taxpayer-funded benefits. It comes back to the one word that we have to reestablish in the United States of America. It's principled leadership. And if you never forget anything, or never remember anything, remember this.